Alrighty, I think we're live. I think it's operational. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm coming through loud and clear. EDDBUD here. It's the live stream 36 today. I want to talk a little bit later on about the sort of future of the channel, really, and some sort of things I want to try and explore over the course of the next 6 months as things are getting sort of bigger. There's more subscribers, trying to expand things out a little bit, I guess, do some new stuff. I've been trying to introduce a little bit more of the running footage into the videos, but doing it in my own way. You know, doing it in my own sort of odd, characterful kind of way. Looks as if I'm operational here. People can hear me. Run Tommy says subtitles, please. Let's see who we got. So Run Tommy's in the house. We have Justin Branders was here earlier on, so hi to you. Chris McLean was here when I was just getting things ready, so he's in the house. Jamie's here. Rob and Stephen C. all are here in attendance. Good to see you guys. Let's see, we've got Matt Strickland. He says, howdy Ed, nice to finally catch you on a live stream. Excellent. I'm glad you've managed to come in on one of the live streams today. I'm going to try and keep them nice and regular, so the Sundays and the Wednesdays if I can. Please do hit the like button, guys, if you're in the chat. It really does help to get us out there to some more people with that YouTube algorithm. The numbers will be crunching there behind the scenes. The AI will be trying to fire off to different people, new people, and that's what we want, is bring people together. I guess that's the aim of the game, and I want to play that game with you. What was that from? That was from like a TV show or something. Yeah. Let's get back to it, Ed. Come on. Cheekster 777's here, as always, in the comments too. Yo, EDDBUD in the house. Good to see you. Run Tommy says subtitles, please. Greetings from. I'm not sure how I'm able to do that on the fly. I don't know how that works. If I'm doing it on the fly, is that a thing? Is that a new thing? Maybe I'm just stuck in the past, I don't know. Thomas Ferguson is in the house. We got Ewan, we got Sam as well. Oscar Lindberg's here. Dave is in the house too. I think Dave is always on the net. He's always ready for some running shoe content. Because I know Dave is often in the comments and also over on Kafuzi's channel as well. I don't know if Mike's doing one today, is he? Because he did that marathon earlier on. He's probably a bit tired. I think I'd be tired after that. Certainly. We got CM. CM says, as a 57-year-old woman looking for a faster, shock-absorbing running shoe, would the Saucony Endorphin Speed be suitable? Absolutely. Yeah, I'd certainly look at the Speed. Brilliant shoe, all round, really versatile. You'll probably want to use it on a daily basis as well. So, CM, that would be certainly my recommendation. Tom Clow says, hi Ed, not in bed yet, but have some ice cream. Excellent stuff. I hope it's your favourite flavour. What have we had? I've just eaten a whole pack of salted caramel M&Ms, and they were good. They were good. They were much needed. I needed some sugar to get me ready for the live stream today. Let's see who else we got here. Kev Stenner. Kev Stenner is in the house. He's just on a 15-mile run. Kev, I'll tell you what, it is nasty out there. I hope you didn't get caught in that serious downpour that we had about 35-40 minutes ago. Good old Kev. That's a good miles in though, Kev, on the long run today. Well done, buddy. Excellent stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to do some racing. We'll be side by side doing some racing soon in the local area. Mark T is in the place. Says hello everybody. Hi Mark. We got Mike T and Keith as well. Ron Kroll is here. He says he loves the reviews. Thanks for tuning in. I am on Strava. If you head into one of the videos, into the description, there's all sorts of stuff in there. Sometimes I write some really weird stuff in the description, so do go in and check those out, because you miss out on some stuff you don't. I go off on a tangent sometimes in the description, so it's a little secret there for you. The Strava link should be in there somewhere, I'm sure. And you can come and join us on the EDDBUD Runners United Strava group as well, if you want even more fun, if you can take that level of fun. You've got to be careful though, you don't want to push it too much. Gary Sailors is here. He says, hi Ed, question on the Fuelcell TC. Did I take it part? I did go to 100, I never went any further. That stuff seems to keep on rocking for ages. Fuelcell, I don't think you'll have too many issues there. And I think the TCs are, if you can find it in the original colourways, are a bit discounted as well at the moment. Runs Like a Donkey says hello. Gozza's here from Munich in Germany. Thanks for joining us, guys. Ed is here. Hi Ed, he says from Ed. Excellent. Another Ed is very welcome. Jamie Dahl is watching with his 5-year-old runner, Braden. He loves some EDDBUD. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. My little lad, so Fergus is 9 months now, and he's particularly into watches. He likes running watches. Whenever I put the watch in front of him, he just goes, oh, like that, and he wants to press the buttons. He likes all of them as well. You just put them in front. It's helping him to crawl as well, because he wants to crawl towards them. And I think my daughter, who's 10, she's slowly getting into doing a little bit more PE, as we call it over here, physical education. That's a ridiculous title for that. But she's getting more into doing some sports, basketball and things like that. So hopefully she'll get that running bug back again a little bit. She's done a few park runs and things like that. But she's got the same build as me, so technically she could be, you know, a serious runner. Not that I'm a serious runner, I'm just a bloke that likes running. But she could be really good because she's young and she's, you know, not got the 25 years of playing rock and roll music and going around here and there at late nights, you know, loading amplifiers into cars and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Runs Like a Donkey, thank you for the super chat. It's very, very kind of you. It's got an ice cream picture there. Quite fancy a bit of ice cream, actually. I know that Mrs. EDDBUD had some in the freezer the other day. Maybe I'll go and have a little look after this and see if there's any left. Joe Mullin is in the house. Hi Joe, thanks for your support, buddy. He did say he kind of reminded me, actually, we hit 19,000 subscribers today. 19,000. It's crazy. I can remember when I was sat here making a video just in this very area here about the Stourhead 10k that I did, you know, back in what, like 2 years ago or something, and I had like a couple of hundred or something. So it's amazing to be there, and Joe and all of the regular viewers, I really do appreciate your support, and getting us there is fantastic. Steve Buller, he says, oh, hang on, I've lost it. Where is it? Steve Buller says, good evening, Ed. Still loving this unpredictable spring weather. Yeah, you got that right, Steve. Unpredictable, all right. He says, temperature I prefer, not the wind, though. Makes any run quite interesting. Don't you agree? Oh, yeah. Today I opted for a vest, but then my Nike sort of windproof top on top. On top? Yeah, you know what I mean. Only so I had some more pockets, because I took some water with me and the camera as well. And yeah, it's just horrific out there. I think it's about 26-mile-an-hour winds and rain most of the time. There will be some footage if you like that sort of thing in the video tomorrow. I've got a long run review coming up. Whoa, of the Mach 4. Yeah, it did okay to a point. But yeah, really impressed with the upper. It hasn't taken on an awful lot of water. It's kind of dried out already, I suppose. So actually quite well. But that'll be coming up for you tomorrow, guys. You had a power cut the other day here. I was getting ready to record a video and bang, it was gone for about an hour and a half or something. So yeah, it's put me back a little bit. Sam Farman says, hi, I had a quick musical interlude for you. Have I ever listened to Sam Fender? No, I don't think I've heard any Sam Fender, not intentionally. I'll have to go and check out some of that stuff. It's kind of funny because my dad, you know, he's gone under the name Dale Fender for like, I don't know, 40 years or something like that. So yeah, he was the original using the Fender name. I think Dale was from like a movie star or something at the time that he thought was particularly cool. So he put the two together. Jane and Klingberg is in Florida. Amazing. I hope your weather's better than it is here, Jane. It's shocking over here at the UK at the moment. Hopefully it will improve a little bit here. Dave says, always here to put my 2 cents. That's Canadian, so not worth a lot. Awesome. Kev Burmasters in the house. He says 19k subs. You're rocking it, Ed. Thanks, Kev. I really appreciate your support right the way from the top. You know, right from the top. And there's a lot of things. There's an email that I've kept, Kev, that you sent me a way back now, with lots of things I've been working on over the course of like a year. And all of them have had an effect, so like a positive effect in terms of my running. So I can't thank you enough, sir. Sebastian Hutman is here. He says, greetings from Munich. When can we buy the branded Vaporfly Next Percent with the EDDBUD logo? Somebody did comment earlier that I should put on the side of the midsole, if I can. It just says now. Midsole now. I think that would be awesome. I was chuckling to myself about that. Trevor Holloway's in the house, says hello Ed. Hello Trevor, thanks for joining us here in the chat. Justin Brand is here. He says, hi, I've missed the start, so I don't know if you gave me your opinion between the Saucony Endorphin Speed or Magic Speed. I haven't tried out the Magic Speed. By all accounts, people were a bit sort of, I don't know, thought it was a bit little lackluster maybe. I mean, it's got to be a hell of a shoe to be better than the Endorphin Speed. That is... I mean, I've told you the story of that. It's a shoe that kind of is tied mentally to me to when my son was born. Because you've kind of got all those anxious feelings, you know, just before when a little person arrives. And when he did, I remember picking up the Speed and putting the shoes on and getting out, just doing a few miles and just feeling this like weight lifted off of me. And that shoe has this special sentimental value now to me. So yeah, it would be Endorphin Speed for me. Richard Rendell says 19k. We're there. 19k today, actually, in the... that's a bit weird. 19k today in the Mach 4. It wasn't intentional. That's just pretty much where I wanted to... how much I wanted to run today. So, yeah, there we go. I didn't realise that. There we go. Tara says, hi Ed, his friend ran the women's 50k. Yes, Joe was telling me about this. Joe, maybe in the chat you can post up some information. Maybe, I don't know if links work in there, but maybe if you can post some information about that and people can go and check that out. I know that you had some info on Facebook surrounding that fantastic record. So yeah, brilliant stuff going on over in South Africa there. Rob Schuder says, what's a good soft cushioned distance shoe? There's many a good soft cushioned distance shoe these days. Guys, let them know in the chat what your favourite is of that right now. There's too many. There's too many right now. If I was going to go soft distance, I mean, if you're going to say, do you mean distance as in the marathon distance? If you can get them, the Next Percent are ridiculously good. I think the new upper is a big improvement. Raymond Morrow is here. He says, hi, I had got a good 10k in this morning around 90 Fahrenheit. Lunchtime here. Oh, it's we're coming up towards sort of, I don't know, it's not bedtime yet, but it's you know, coming up towards there, and I still certainly need some rest today. I'm feeling a bit wiped out. Kev says, ran 20 miles of the Fuelcell TCs today. Wow, look at that. So close to 400 miles, and they're still as good in midsole, and still as good in the midsole as the first day you got them. So that is a shining recommendation there, Gary Sailors, about the TC. Leonard says, hi from Limerick. Loving the reviews, thank you. Thanks for watching, I do appreciate that. Tried to get the Rebel V2s on the New Balance site, but they could not supply them. Strange. It's very strange. Why is that? I'm not sure why you can't get them. Maybe there's another supplier somewhere that can get you a pair. They are great. Steve's been eyeing up the Terra Kyger 7 with the 30% off, but all sold out. Yeah, I think a lot of people have got in quick on that 30%. I have to be honest, I didn't buy any shoes. I bought another pair of the Aeroswift half tights because they're fantastic. I really like them. I was a bit dubious about them initially, but I commented to Ben Johnson that I've been won over, and he said, yeah, it's like the closest thing to running without anything. I think that's what he said. And he's right, actually, because it is kind of like that. AD says, loves the shoe reviews, keep them coming. Will do. We got the Craft CTM this week, so look out for that one. Nick P says, destroying the live stream, Disarm watches, got my first one, game changer, running without a phone. Yeah, the other day I ran with the phone purely so I could listen to some music, and I must have, it must have been trying to unlock itself, and I couldn't use my phone for about an hour afterwards, which was a real pain. Yeah, so I need to find other options because taking my phone out in this weather, it's just going to trash it in no time at all. Toxin543 says, hi Ed, like your reviews, you're the funniest YouTuber. Thank you. I just sort of try and be myself really, which is a man who likes to, I don't know, it's always a bit tongue-in-cheek. I think with shoes, you know, we like the shoes, we like trying them out, wearing them. You know, running's kind of a weird one anyway, isn't it? You know, you spend loads and loads of time sort of running in a straight line and then try to run the fastest as you can in a straight line over a specific distance. You know, it's kind of strange when you think about it. It's the same with guitars. You know, you've got these bits of wood with pieces of metal stretched over them, and then you sort of, you know, you hit them like this and then people dance and stuff. It's weird. It's a weird world, but that's what I like about it. Matt Strickland got himself a pair of the discounted 38s. Matt, my 100-mile review for the 38 will be up this week, and yeah, all I'll say, I'm really enjoying that shoe, and hence why I got there so quick, because I've just been grabbing them each time. You know, I pick up another pair of shoes and I'm like, nah, 38s. So, yep. Mark T says, I'm seriously considering the Puma Liberate for my next shoe. Do you have any further comments on that shoe? Let's have a look. Have I got the other one? No, I'll have to grab this one. This will do. I think, personally, for the money, this is one of the best shoes out there right now. So, in terms of the outsole grip, it's phenomenal. In terms of the upper fit, for me, it's just ridiculously light. And yeah, I think for 5 or 10k, I mean, I've got a 10k, I need to sign up for it because I think it closes later, so I've got to do it after this. There's a 10k in Weymouth, down in Dorset, next Saturday. Nice flat one as well. So I might even use it for that, because I think there might be a little bit more of sort of gravelly type stuff around there, because it's kind of round a lake sort of area. So yeah, I'm really into the Liberate. I think it's a great shoe, one of the best of the year. Let's see who else we got here. The Spiker says, hi Ed, I love the content. Have you ever tried Brook shoes that use the DNA Amp midsoles? No, I've not tried anything with DNA Amp. I really like the Hyperion Tempo. I'm not really that keen on the Elite 2. It's just too rigid. I don't think that the plate works all that well with that foam. I think it's a better implementation in the more flexible Hyperion Tempo. I wouldn't mind trying out some other Brook shoes though over the course of the year. If something pops up, I might give it a go. There's snow hell where Per is at the moment. Snow, blimey. Richard Johnson says, Grand Earth Credit greetings, Lord Ed of Yeovil. Earth Credit greetings to you too, Richard. Yeah, Stephen C, in with the code there. Do utilise that if you can. Here's a super code. Kind of strange. It's like it looks like it's a 25% off code, but it's clearly actually a 30%. Maybe. It's whatever. Either way, you can pick the Liberate up for even less. Roger, yeah, Roger, you're right with the musician thing. There's a really good track cover, I think it is, of a tune George Thorogood did, and it's called like $50 Gig or something. And basically, yeah, you ride in a car that's $500, and yeah, you can with like thousands of dollars worth of gear. That's pretty much how it works when you're down the bottom there, when you're scratching and scraping by. The Ray Witt says, what does the rain do to your actual pace and mood? Well, I kind of like running in the rain, but when you put it together with, you know, like a southwesterly you know, 25-30 mile an hour wind, it's just nasty. You know, it kind of blows me away as well, because you know, it's not an awful lot to me. There's just not much here, so I just get blown around like a ginormous windsock. But I kind of like it, you know. I don't dislike running in the rain. Ever since I was like a young lad, I used to like putting my football boots on and running around the field, you know, getting muddy. So it's kind of that little bit of me comes out. I think I actually run a little better when it's cooler and there's a little rain in the air. When it's hot, I just don't work. Things slow down for me. Gozza says, hi Ed, how about a video for the heavier guys? Something like couch to 5k or 10k. Yeah, maybe I can do like a sort of like a tips video, you know, to like a pathway sort of video. Like start here and work your way through. That'll be quite a good one. I think over the summer, maybe when I've got a little more time on my hands, that might be a good avenue to explore. Like sort of up some, maybe a couple of videos a week on a certain day, something like that. That'll be a good one. I'll keep it in mind, Gozza. I'll keep it in mind. Cameron Bride is in the house. Good to see you here, Cameron. Chris McFarland has a question. He says, what do you think of the Hoka Carbon X? What's your favourite stout? Or too many to mention on the stout. The Carbon X I had, it was a couple of years back now, and that summer. Yeah, two summers ago or something. I've got to say that shoe, in terms of the foam and the rigidity, just gave me an awful lot of knee problems. When I used to play football, I did twist my knee quite badly. I think it was my right knee, and that one gave me some real problems. I got to 100 in it. It held up relatively well, but yeah, not my favourite of the carbon shoes. I'll have to say the Carbon X. The 2 is smoother, much smoother, and is a better shoe for me. Andre says about the Invincible Zoom X. Thoughts, I guess. The upper's over-engineered. I like the idea of the Invincible, and I really like the outsole, but the implementation of it, I feel it isn't quite there, and I think maybe there'll be a better version of it down the line. So yeah, not one of my favourites of the year. Bit of a letdown, the Invincible for me, and very expensive as well for what it is. 160. I'd rather spend that money on a pair of Endorphin Speeds. You know, I find them easily cushioned enough for my purposes, and maybe the Invincible's just too cushioned. Is it supposed to be like an easy recovery shoe? I don't know. I'm not sure what that shoe is. Brendan T says, how's everybody doing? We're doing good. We're doing good. Thanks for joining us, Brendan. Run Tommy says, Nirvana wore the Chuck Taylors. Any bands that rocked running shoes? I'm not sure. Running shoes. Let's think. Can't think of anybody offhand. You've got loads of people that wear like sort of Jordans and stuff, haven't you? But has anyone ever wore running shoes? I think maybe a couple of times I've seen like Mick Jagger wearing some running shoes. I would assume Rod Stewart possibly. But yeah, if anybody knows any good examples, let us know there. That's a good one, Run Tommy. El MacD is chanting Ed Bud, Ed Bud from Lincolnshire. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I need a little drink of this peach flavoured stuff, whatever it is. Stuart Buller, he says he's got the 1080 V10 and the Rebel V2. Haven't done many miles in the V2 yet. Do you have a rough estimate of wear on or duration? They seem to wear a little bit early on, but then the V2's been fine after that. And I'm seeing similar wear on the V11 in comparison to the V10, so don't think it's any major issues there. Gary Sailors has seen that message from Mr. Burmaster, so yeah, that's a really good one. Hopefully that will put your mind at ease, Gary, and you can make your purchase without worrying too much. Chris McLean says, if Beast was a shoe, what shoe would she be? Now, it'd have to have a bit of bite. Beast would have to have some bite. Now, it can't be the Takumi Sen because that's a very light shoe. Beast is a very sizable animal. so it would need to be something with a bit more sort of bulk to it. It's a tough one, you know. Would she be the Alpha Fly, maybe? A little bit uncompromising. It's quite sort of wide, I guess, in the midsole, in the forefoot and the midfoot area. Yeah, maybe the Alpha Fly. Not everybody's cup of tea, Beast. You know, some people would be quite scared of Beast. But, you know, we have an understanding. We have an understanding. So, yeah, maybe it would be Beast. Beast would be the Alpha Fly. Aaron says, "Hi Ed, greetings from the Isle of Man. Come visit us in August for the No Rest for the Wicked series. 6 races in 6 days. Oh my god." Yeah, well, I think it'd be quite nice, Aaron, if there's a possibility of getting over there to do some racing. That sounds good. Joe, I haven't had a chance to watch the race yet. I'm going to probably check it out once I've finished doing the live stream. And I've signed up for that race that I'm going to do. I need to do that because it does end today, the sign-ups. I think they're sending stuff out to people. So you turn up with your bib. And I think there's like a mask that you've got to wear at the start as well. So, yeah, I need to do that. And I'll check the race out from your link that you sent me earlier. Irish Lad says, he got into running 4 months ago using the Glide Ride. Awesome. That's great. So getting in just under the 20 minutes for the 5k. Fantastic. Good effort. Looking to step up. Any suggestions for a carbon and trail shoe? Trail shoes, look at some of the Innovate stuff. I really enjoy those. I think they have good value for money and durable. The G270 is a good one to check out. Although be a little careful with that one because it is a 0 drop shoe. It might be a little bit too much of a drop for you. In terms of carbon shoes, if you can maybe go in with the Speed or something like that that's got like a nylon plate to get used to it, because I think if you're going from shoes without to with, it can be a bit jarring and it does take a little time for some people to get used to those. But thanks for tuning in and coming and joining us here within the chat. Mike T would love more on the running vlogging, but I can imagine how much of a pain it is. Well, I quite like the running vlogging stuff. The only issue I have is taking these massive sticks out with me. I mean, I've got one that gets to about, I don't know, about this size, and you can pull it out, but you're still running around with an extra, you know, couple 100 grams or something, and I don't know whether it, for me, has a bit of, it creates a bit of imbalance or something, I don't know. And it just, sometimes when you're trying to get all these other shots, it kind of takes away from the session I'm trying to do. If I'm just running some easy miles, no worries, but yeah, if you're trying to do a specific session, you're carrying this pole around. Yeah, I'd rather get the session done properly and sort of create some stuff from the studio. But I will try and get a little bit more in there for you, Mike, because I know a lot of people are enjoying that stuff. I want to kind of do it in my own way, you know, in my own strange way. Stephen C says, been increasing the mileage over the past months, now at 40 miles a week. Fantastic. Keep it slow and steady. Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. It builds up that aerobic base. You start feeling the easier miles being easy and nice and sustainable. So when you do crank things up, you've got the extra power. The one man with a weird world of shoes. That's me, Richard. Cameron strongly agrees Liberate Nitro is amazing. Yeah, it is a top shoe, that one. Mark T's going to pick himself one out. Hopefully you can use that code, Mark. Body by Duff's in the house. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Sarah Gon says, evening Ed. Who are you running from, Ed? I have Peg 37 and think about adding Hyperion Tempo and Adios Pro. Yeah, Adios Pro's a top one. A really nice shoe if you can find it. That's the problem. Adidas just don't seem to be making many of them. I've no idea why, with all those people winning races in them. I mean, I was lucky to grab a pair last year. I can't even remember what it was, sort of maybe sort of August time, something like that. And they're great. You know, I was just over 1 hour 30 on the half in that shoe. Maybe I could have used a different shoe and got just inside 1:30, but I really enjoyed my run in that shoe. It's just so cushioned. It left my legs feeling great. Yeah, Joe, I did hear about that in China, that ultramarathon. It was terrible, the extreme weather there. It's really sad to hear about that. Really, really sad thing. Keith Egerton says, "Hi Ed, need an idea on which road to hard trail shoes to get, which aren't too narrow." Oh, so sort of like a commute type thing, so you can wear it from, road to your trail. I'm probably not the best guy on trail shoes, really. I mean, I've only got a few pairs. If anyone else in the chat, can help Keith out with some suggestions. I don't want to keep saying innovate, because I've got a couple of pairs of those and I love them, but they might not be ideal for that sort of situation. Dave says, best or favourite shoes for rain? Now, when you're looking at rain, it's always about outsole and about how much the upper's going to soak up the moisture. Is it going to allow that sort of water to get out? Yeah, I've got to say, in the rain, the Alpha Fly always work very well. I don't know whether it's the forefoot fins are just a bit better in the rain or on sort of very smooth surfaces. The RC Elite was a bit of a letdown on that because it's got a fantastic outsole, but then the upper just seems to suck up the moisture, which is a bit of a pain. Trying to think what else has worked really well in the rain. It's probably one little downfall of the Peg 38 actually, is that the upper just soaks up a bit of water and it makes the shoe a little bit heavy then. The Invincible was terrible in the rain. Absolutely terrible. It was like a sponge. So yeah, those are some to avoid and perhaps a couple that are a bit better. Run Tommy's asking about the sketches. I need to get back out in those again. I'll probably do another run in those this week, Run Tommy. Maybe some more intervals. They worked very well on that. I don't think they'd be ideal in the current conditions. So I'll maybe test those out this week. If I get in on that race for Saturday, then I'll need to scale things back a tiny bit the latter part of this week. Mark Weston's in on that idea for the bigger chaps. No worries, Mark. I shall think about that a little bit and get something down on paper, get a bit of a script going on that. Most of my videos are scripted, guys. I know there's lots of edits in there, but I just don't like having all the ums and ahs and the dead air and all that sort of stuff. I know you guys are all busy people. You've got stuff going on, and you don't want to see some guy there umming and ahhing and repeating himself over and over. So I tend to chop all the stuff out and get the the main sort of meat of it there, so you can take it in quickly. Joe says 30% off nearly everything at Nike. So you've got himself some Vaporfly next percent, the version 1, and the Invincible. Crikey, blimey, that's a great Zoom X package you got there. Jace Galaxy is in the house. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Andrew Frank says, I know you've talked about Air Max 90s before. Have I actually ran in them? I did run in them many years ago, but I haven't run in my technically they're Air Max 3s, I think, those infrareds that I got, or the Radiant Red or whatever they call it. I wouldn't want to run in those. They're very much a casual shoe for me. I'm actually wearing the Pegasus 83s right now, and they're just, they're lovely, comfortable shoes for doing the recovery, just wearing them around the house. They're just nice and comfy. It's working a treat. Joe Vincent says Puma Nitro Velocity or Pegasus 38. I would say if you're really worried about weight, go with the Velocity. But personally, I don't really find the weight all that much of an issue with the Pegasus 38. So yeah, I think I probably need a bit of a match-up on those two. I'd probably lean towards the 38. Seven Steels just got in. Did he talk about socks yet? No, not yet. Hi Trev, I wasn't aware that the Weymouth is at the half. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that had been rearranged or whether that was back on. I guess it's a possibility, Trevor. I wouldn't mind getting in on that one if it's if there's places, I suppose. Jogan Roche says, hi Ed, out of the Mach 4 and the Rebel 2, which do you prefer? Love the Rebels, but don't get the first on the Mach 4. I kind of like them for different reasons. The Rebel 2's are very much more cushioned, kind of forgiving sort of shoe. There's a lot less cushion in the Mach 4. It's a bit more of a direct sort of connection shoe for me. You feel really directly connected to the road, whereas the Rebel 2 kind of feels a little bit like an RC Elite Light, or like a diet version of it, if you see what I mean. So yeah, they're quite different shoes in my mind, really. There's quite a big separation between the two. Chris McFarlane says, been going through my videos from the start. Very good. Got smoother and found rhythm. Yeah, I think you've got to make a load of videos and figure out sort of where you are and what you're doing and how it all works. And then, you know, you get to this point where I think it's the 500th video tomorrow for the channel. So, yeah, it's a process of crafting what you do. And it takes a long time. But thank you for watching the old ones. It's nice to hear someone's watching those. You spend a lot of time, you know, making these videos. They take a while to make. And I don't like just... There's a song, right? There's a song by Ben Folds. And it's called One Down. And it was where he was working for like a publishing company. And the contract he had to like do a certain amount of, he had to write a certain amount of songs per week. And I think it was like 3.5 songs or something ridiculous like that. So he'd sit down and he just couldn't write and just knock out a load of rubbish. He had to write something decent. And I can't put something out that's, you know, half baked. I can't do it. I was the same with music. If I play a gig, I have to play it 100%. I just can't do that. So yeah, that's sometimes why I need to take a day off here and there and just get things right, watch things through from start to finish, make sure that things are right up there, because it matters. It matters to me that it's right, and I don't want to, you know, you guys spend your time watching my channel, watching my videos, and that matters to me, that you take time out to actually do that. So it has to be right. So a bit of a went off on a tangent there, guys, but it matters to me. Joe Vincent says, I got a lot of fans out in Spain. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos out there, guys. Spain's a place I spent a lot of time in a few years back. A lot of time, certainly in the south of Spain. Yeah, I'm glad those Invincibles are working out for you, Jace. It just didn't... I mean, I took them up to 100. I can't say that I had loads of issues with them, but when I did have issues, they were quite painful. So I'm glad they're working out for you. That's what counts, you know. Some people get really upset, you know, when you say, oh, don't like that shoe, or this shoe didn't work for me, and you list some reasons, and they get really angry. But it's a subjective thing, isn't it? You know, a certain shoe's going to work for some people. All our feet are all different, aren't they? So I'm glad it's working out for you. Ed says, any recommendations for an easy recovery shoe? The Ultra Boost 20 you've been using. Okay. Yeah, for recovery, I don't know really. What have I been enjoying for recovery? The Energy 3 Reebok. This is just, there's so much comfort there underfoot. It's just a really nice, comfortable, cushioned and forgiving shoe, the Energy 3. So maybe check that one out. Joe Vincent says, what are my thoughts on the Endorphin Speed 2? Now, when you've got a sequel, when you've got a follow-up, it's really hard sometimes because you want to make it better than before. But not every follow-up shoe, not every sequel shoe is like the Bends by Radiohead, is it? not everyone's an improvement. And I don't know why they've put pull tabs on the Endorphin Speed 2. Why have they done that? I'm going to tell you now, guys, when I get that shoe, the first thing I'm going to do is cut off the pull tabs, because you just don't need them on that shoe. It's a shoe that you put your foot into it, you cinch the laces up and you tie it up, and that's it. You don't need pull tabs on it. Why would you put pull tabs on a shoe that you call this Speed? It's for faster training, right? Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I'm going to cut them off, so I will do it. Maybe I'll do it live or something. Straight out of the box, cut them off. I don't want them on there. Pull tabs for me, you don't need them half the time. Maybe on the Alpha Fly you need pull tabs to get your foot into the shoe. I haven't encountered any other shoes where you need it. Do I ever throw out shoe boxes? Never, Carlos. I keep the shoes once they're, you know, at a point where I've reviewed them and maybe I'm not going to use them again, clean them up, and then they go back in the shoe box with all the paper, everything, just to keep them, you know, where they are. In the archive. They're like pictures to me. Rob Shooter says, I need a film crew. I do. Best I've got at the moment though is Beast with a GoPro strapped to her. That's probably about the best I can do right now. Scott said, I ran work a stick today. It's cumbersome. I'm not sure what you mean there, Scott. Maybe you ran with a stick. Is that what you mean? Maybe. Keith Shoemaker, pew pew, more Star Wars stuff. Have we got any Star Wars stuff in the... I don't think there's anything here at the moment. My X-Wing's down there. And we've got the Land Speeder over there. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Always, since I was... I think I was about 4 or 5. I actually broke a VHS copy of Star Wars. I watched it so many times and rewound it, it just snapped. The tape just snapped. That's how many times I watched it. And I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. I still do, really. I still want to be him now. Raymond says Tempo Next Percent is his go-to. Speed is real close second. Yeah, nylon plates, I think they work better on a daily kind of basis. I'll tell you one shoe I always really liked running in was the Zoom Fly. Man, I could run fast in that shoe. Even back when I wasn't quite so fast as I am now. So maybe I'll dig the Zoom Fly out again for a little test. That might be quite fun. Chris Stapleton says, do you think other manufacturers will do a nylon plated shoe? I sincerely hope they will, Chris, because I think there's a bit of a gap in the market for that. There's a few people doing them, and I think that with the success of the Speed and the implementation of that plate and the foam as well, that it could be a real winner. Can you imagine that if Nike did like a sort of minimized Zoom X shoe with a nylon plate? Maybe they're working on that very thing right now. Or there's a guy with a headphone going, EDDBUD has just come up with another idea. Get the guys into the factory quickly. Let's knock up a design. Get the Invincible run upper. Don't do that, Nike, if you're listening. Please don't do that. Matt Strickland said, for God's sake, keep up the good work. I really enjoy the vlogs. Thanks for tuning in, Matt. I do appreciate it. Like I said, you guys spend your hard-earned spare time. And it is hard-earned these days, isn't it? We're all working hard, all of us. Joe says he ran 15 miles in the Endorphin Speed yesterday. And the same last week in the Nike Zoom Fly Flynet. Oh, yeah. Having the carbon plate makes the difference. I think I would go for the Endorphin Pro. Yeah, this is it. I wish they did the Pro, but with the Endorphin Speed upper. There you go. Think about that. Because the Pro upper is kind of odd. It's so sort of light and flexible and thin that it's harder to get a good lockdown than it is with the Speed. Andre says, how about hybrid shoes that do road and light trail? Can't stand the Hoka. Yeah, it's not the Hoka trail shoes aren't saying I want to go in for. It's just, I don't know, just too much there. That's why that Mach 4 is working for me. It's a little lighter. It reminds me a little bit of the Rincon. I used to have a lot of fun wearing the Rincon. I'll go for the Rincon 3 when that comes out. I want to go back and reminisce on the Rincon. I really like the surf vibe on that original red one I had. That was cool. Yeah, Ginger Runners, he's the man when it comes to trail shoes. He's a cool guy. And a musician as well. I love to think of him getting up on a Monday morning, drinking coffee and sat making electronic dance music out in the forest. I really like that idea. That's, I'd like to do that actually. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, he's cool. I really like that event they did a couple of years back, where you had those 3 different routes that you had to do, and you used like I think it was like a USB stick or something you had to put in to show when you'd completed the routes. That was really cool. What a cool idea. IT and running and tech all together mixed up in the forest as well, with lots of elevation and mud and branches and stuff. That sounds fun. I'd like to do that at some point. Is he like over near Portland somewhere? Is he Oregon sort of way? I think, isn't he? Let's see if we can cover a few more questions here before we tie things up. If you are in the chat, guys, please do hit the like button. It really does help us out. Remember, you can do a super chat as well if you want to grab my attention on a specific question or something. It's a good thing to do to help the channel. Keeps the shoes flowing in like a river, a midsole river, something like that. Joel says, loving the SL20s. Pick them up after my recommendations. A great grip. They are a really good shoe, the SL20. They kind of fouled it up a bit with the 20.2, but the original one, it's got all the great things about the Adidas sort of lower stack shoe with light strike, and it's just this lovely sort of gummy midsole almost, and the outsole is superb. SL20, great shoe, great shoe. Saragon says Ultra, Topo and Solomon. Yeah, I'd say they're good to check out if you're going from road to trail. The Reebok Float Ride Run Fast Pro. Yes, immune to rain and the grip. The grip. Pour some oil on the ground and just try to slip. You can't do it. I like it, Cameron. Cameron, you always come up with some good comments. Whenever I see yours in the comments on the videos, there's always a good one. That's true. That could even be a shoe I could chance next Saturday on that 10k. I need to try and find some more information about the terrain. Maybe I'll give one of the local runners a shout and see if they can fill me in. Yeah, I'd love to use like the next percent or something. But if there's any grass on that course, if you've run on grass in that shoe, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not a pretty sight. You'll just slide like an eel. Mark Weston says the Peg 38 or the Velocity Nitro. I'd err a little bit towards the 38. Personally, Mark, I just think having that airbag in the front there, it really does make a bit of a difference. It's really consistent, like over time. That airbag doesn't seem to sort of bottom out at all. Whereas if you've just got foam in there, it seems to sort of hit a certain point or mileage and it seems to bottom out. So yeah, the 38. Azim says, hi Ed, my first time here. Thanks for tuning in with us and hanging out here in the chat. Just picked up the SL20s as well to train some 5K. Super underrated. Yeah, I hope they do a proper sequel, of that shoe rather than the 20.2. It left a little bit to be desired. But I'm certainly in with you on that. I hope there's a proper follow-up. Javier says, you made it. I hope you're doing well. Going to start my 14-week training block tomorrow. Awesome. What are you training for? Let us know, Javier. Brendan says he took the Rebel V2 in the rain yesterday. Soaked up an ounce of water. Blimey. Yeah, some shoes, Brendan, they're like sponges. They sort of take it on. It's really weird, actually. Some shoes are like that. Others just almost immune to any sort of moisture at all. Fortunately, I used the Rebels yesterday, and it was drier than it was today. It was wild out there today. Justin says the 38, the Float Ride 3 or the Rebel 2. They're all kind of good at different things, I suggest. The 38's kind of in the middle really for me. The Float Ride Energy 3 is a bit more cushioned than the Peg 38, and then the Rebel 2 is right over the other side, much lighter. So it really depends what you want to do with them. If you want something in the middle, the 38's the one. If you want to race some stuff, perhaps the Rebel 2 is probably the one to go for. Taj says you can have a look at the Ultra running shoes. Yeah, they're worth checking out, I think. Certainly if you're looking for that type of thing, Keith. Yeah, Body by Duff says happy 500th. Yeah, it's coming up. I think it's tomorrow is the 500th video. And we just obviously hit 19,000 subscribers today as well. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I'm going to have another drink. My voice is going. Scott says you'd like to get a pair of the new Rebels, but already has a second pair of Kinvara 11s. What will I be missing? The Rebels are real. It is like it's kind of does what it says on the tin, I suppose. It is a wild shoe. Makes you want to run very quickly, that one. Gaza says, anybody tested the New Balance More V3 or the Saucony Axon? I've not tested either of those. I don't know if they're out over here yet. Maybe the Axon's available. I want the Freedom 4 though. That's the one I want. Kira Bat says, finally got the Next Percent 2 stateside. Set a new 5k PB. Yeah, they are that type of shoe. Certainly exceptionally propulsive. I'm not going to try and pronounce the German name there, but good evening from Cologne. So what do you think? How long will those high stack running shoes be keeping up? I think that things always go in cycles. They kind of figure out something that works and then they milk it until people are sort of bored of it and want something else. So what can they do really with the Next Percent or the Saucony Pro, the Endorphin Pro, where you've got, you know, a already large stack? You can't really go any higher. There seems to be a sweet spot and they've kind of hit that. So how long will it last? I don't know. People will go back though, won't they? Something will happen and they'll be able to use perhaps like a lighter foam that's easier to produce, that's got more energy return. It will go round in circles. I think it always does. Let's see if we can clear a few more questions for the end of the live stream today. Scott says, I dislike pull tabs, I use a shoehorn. Excellent, I like it. Shoehorn is one of my favourite things in the world. Seriously, I love shoehorns. Jace Galaxy says, by the way, hello from Adelaide, Australia. Awesome, thanks for tuning in. Right away across the other side of the world. Zoe says, do I ever get injured? What are your injury prevention routines? So Zoe, I tend to do a dynamic stretching routine before I go out running, and I take resting very seriously. So what I'll do is stretching out my back, so doing a bit of yoga actually in the mornings. Just makes me feel a whole lot better once you go out of bed, and just do some of that straight away. Really helps. I work a lot on my hip mobility. So making sure that I move, moving the hips around, making sure that I've got lots of range of motion there. Those things seem to help a lot. I do have a foam roller, I use that from time to time. Otherwise, I basically listen to the body and say if it needs a rest, bring it right back in terms of pace and mileage, and just keep that balance there, and that seems to work. Vegetarian, so we're relatively careful about what we eat. No meat, obviously, but yeah, I eat a lot of fish actually, so I guess I'm a pescatarian. We eat fish, but yeah, no meat. It seems to work for me. I used to get a lot of problems with my stomach eating certain meat and stuff, so yeah, I just stick with that, and that seems to help me. keep my immune system up. There's a super chat coming there. From AM. Thank you very much, AM. It really does help us out here at the channel. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Musical interlude question from Dan Bailey. He says, do I have a list of Richard Thompson? I don't think I have, actually. Not sure I've listened to any Richard Thompson. I'll have to check that out. I'll add that to the list. Jimmy D'Souza says, what are your thoughts on zero drop shoes? I only got maybe 2 or 3 pairs of zero drop shoes. Innovate. I got a pair of Ultras as well. I didn't really find them that different to run in at all. Maybe just at a point I was out with my training, I've built up strength enough, and I didn't really find them to cause me any issues. The Innovates, in fact, were super comfortable. Joe Vincent says, have I ever worn toe socks to prevent blisters? No, I haven't. Haven't worn any of those, I have to say. I got loads of different pairs of socks. I kind of match socks up with shoes in terms of adjusting fit quite a lot of the time. I'm right at the end of a UK size 11, US size 12. So some shoes are a little tighter, they're a little more constrictive, so I tend to go in with a shoe that's, with a sock that's a little thinner. Johnny Ash. So he says, hi Ed, former student. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I hope you're doing fine. Hope you're doing alright out there. Good to hear from you. Fantastic stuff. It is going very well, the channel. Thank you. Kiribat says, if you wear a slow shoe on one foot and a fast shoe on the other, you end up running in circles. Yes, that is a proven thing. Here's another super chat there from Joe Mullin. Thank you, Joe. That's very, very kind of you. He's got a picture of Beast there. The black cat. We've got a couple of minutes, guys. Let's see if we can get a couple more questions here. Yeah. Saragon says Ginger Run is Seattle based. Yeah, you can tell that guy's done some TV type work. Definitely. Richard Johnson's looking to upgrade his earbuds and music setup. I've been carrying on using my what are they? The Powerbeats Pro, and they just seem to be impervious to bad weather. They've been eaten by one of them has actually got teeth marks in where beasts tried to eat one of them. So yeah, they sound great and they're really, really durable as well. So mainly really with the channel announcement, it's just to keep things varied really. If you guys have got anything that you want to see, please let me know in the comments for some of the videos. It really helps out trying to come up with some new ideas. I've got a load of stuff scripted for this week, certainly. But yeah, adding some new things in, such as the running footage. That's been really popular. I've received loads and loads of comments about that over the last sort of week or so. So something I'm going to continue doing over the course of the next sort of few weeks, and just sort of pushing on through really. We're going to have a refresh on some of the merchandise and gear as well over the course of the next week. So do look out for that. You can help the channel out by purchasing some of that. It really does help to spread the word on the channel as well. I'm going to draw this one to a close now, guys. There will be another video popping up tomorrow, so do keep an eye out for that. Long run in the Mach 4. I've got quite a lot of information to go through in that one, so could be a lengthy video. We'll see. I might have to chop it down a little bit. I'd like to say thanks to everybody in the chat today for joining us. It's really, really kind of you. If you haven't done so already, do hit that like button. It really does help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Right, time for me to sign off. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you.